Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Wednesday, March 12th, 7:34 a.m. I will meander. I will have a conversation with myself. This particular morning report has a lot to do with many of the ways in which we operate in this world. And the key number one key, the key, communication. So now we can communicate with everybody. Hello, how are you? The other side of the world, complete stranger. Hello, how are you? Complete stranger. And there's a lot of people that are podcasting now, which is good. I think that's really, really good because we can actually get a realistic idea of where humanity is. And instead of this scaremongering on mainstream television sets and other stuff. So, but even the podcasts now are getting more and more divisive and ridiculous. So it's all about communication. Now, I'm pontificating, which means there's no one else in the room. Well, there's a cat, but I'm being expansive with my speech, but I don't have to listen in this given situation. No one to listen to. Yesterday, I had a major interaction with probably 20 or 30 strangers, all people who work in a profession, doing their job, getting on with their job, and all that stuff. And I tried to interact. Now, it's quite important that I interact with these people because they're working on a friend of mine. Well, the mother of my children, they're working on her in a medical professional situation. I'm pretty clear on my intentions and my words. I'm pretty clear. Not perfect, but I have been learning a great deal about the language of betterarchy, which is a great book. I will put a link underneath to this wonderful teacher, writer, journalist, human being called Dani Katz, DANIKATZ, danikatz.com. She's written some amazing books. She does coursework on propaganda, pop propaganda, which is the popular propaganda by which people twist words in order to maintain a regulatory control system that they're constantly reinforcing by talking and not listening. There is no point in having a conversation when you look at somebody and you see their eyes glaze over and they look like they're paying attention to what your request might be or your intention might be in this communicative world, but you see it glaze over and you're like, so occasionally I'll drop in a word or a joke to see if they're actually listening, and many of them don't, or aren't truly listening because they just want to get on with their work. I understand, but their work involves, in this particular set of conversations that I had yesterday, not only with medical staff, but who are wonderful at their job, but also relatives of the mother of my children. And they'll listen a little bit, and then they're already off with the answer. They're already getting on with their next part of their need to communicate. I told the mother of my children, I told in detail on the phone. Again, it's so much better in person, but I told her brother, one of her brothers, she has many brothers and sisters. I told one of her brothers, I gave him a very clear update as to how well the mother of my children is doing in hospital, and explained that it's an ongoing situation, but she is getting better every day, and hopefully soon she'll be able to be released from the hospital and go to a halfway place and then back home. And he put in I don't know what it is. Well, I actually, I'm gonna in this particular case, I will give my opinion to what I think it might be. Male dominance. There is no patriarch in the mother of my children's family of 8 siblings. There is no patriarch anymore, but there are 5 men who had as their example a very dominant alpha male, and he's passed on sadly, and he's a great man, but they're now trying to all vie for that alpha male position, and it's subtle, but it's there. And part of it is, right, I know what's going to happen, and it's like, mind your language. So a group text went out to the family. This is very personal, but at the same time, it just gives a good example of how communication is key. A family email was sent out that said, "Oh, Nigel said," and I didn't. That whatever, this was the progress situation, and he went off on his own tangent. Now, he's a lovely man, but he didn't listen, and that's key to this, the whole situation in life, everything. And I'm going to go away from the personal now and come back in to what's happening in the world. Is there's a gross miscommunication that is promoted. It's not that it's, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I mean, gosh, we all make mistakes. I'll not deny that. But the point is, every individual's got an agenda, and the closer and closer they come to realizing their agenda, the less and less and less they listen, and then they become stuck in this tunnel of I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do it anyway. I ignore you. I ignore you. I ignore everything. And I eventually get to the point where I am the most arrogant dictator in the world. So I'm in charge. And that's happened. That's happened. It's happening a lot. And I don't think that that's the way in which humanity will thrive. Humanity will survive another dictator. Right? I'm not naming names of anybody, but it's nothing to do with politics, really. It's to do with not listening and thinking you have a mandate to do whatever you want. Now, I agree with personal choice. I think we should all choose to do the things we love to do and really be aware of what that is. Set goals on yourself. Make sure that you're, in a line with what is truly good about humankind. But don't ignore the constant change in life. Things change all the time. I mean, the only constant in life is change. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the screen. I can't look at myself this morning. I can. But, you know, a lot of people say, oh, that's insincere. You're not looking me in the eye. It's a fucking screen. I'm not looking at you, but I'm talking to you. I'm trying to get you at eye level, right? There's my eye level right there, not down here. So I'm trying to make it clear, absolute clarity. That's what I'm trying to do. Get to some clarity. Okay? When we communicate anything with another person, anytime, it has to be a two-way street. If you're too harsh with the way in which you communicate with people, they will reject you. If you're trying to control another person with your conversation, I mean, absolutely try and control them, you will be ignored. And all the fun and games and jokes and interactions I've had over the last couple of weeks have been to set up a two-way street with the professional people that are dealing with the mother of my children's health. And I'm even seeing the medical professionals just glaze over, and I don't know what I'm going to do in order to shake them up today, but they have to be shaken up today. So that's my opinion, but they have to start to listen. The mother of my children is getting better from a very serious operation. She's not able to look after herself in her own home independently. And she wants to. So because she wants to be independent and look after herself, she has to be in a better position than her home is set up for. So the authorities have to step in, and convincing them when they're not listening is going to be a large part of my next 3 or 4 days, is convincing them that you cannot, in all honesty, as healers of people, which they are, brilliant doctors, brilliant nurses, hand it over to administration with no thought to aftercare. We're not in a war zone. Let's not get too convoluted on that. We're not in a war zone, we're in a hospital. We have been up until yesterday or day before in intensive care after a massive operation. But it's not patch them up and put them out on the front line. We're not in a war zone. We're not. You can't do the job you do and then wash your hands of it and walk away. This is about somebody's life. It's weird when you have to kind of beg for healthcare, when you just know that with one stroke of the pen, free healthcare, free education, free food, free shelter, these things can be absolutely stroke of a pen done. But no, 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 no. They keep changing it. They keep going, oh yeah, and it's like, but somebody is getting fat off of this starvation of kindness. Open the dialogue, use your language. I'm going to put the link underneath, dannycatz.com. She's very good at teaching. I'm not. I get too emotionally involved in the micro and the macro. But the truth is, the micro and the macro are mirroring each other in a lot of ways. The collective that is going in the wrong direction, the collective of humanity that is going in the wrong direction, in my humble opinion, is being reflected in the individual. And that is very dangerous. I mean, there's a different set of controls for manipulation and controls that can be applied to the collective. Oh yeah, well, we're just going along with it. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. You know, that sort of thing. But when that's in the collective. But if an individual with a thirst for power starts saying, yeah, so we've all got to be like that individually. Wait a minute. That's a very careless attitude, isn't it? Do we care about our fellow human beings? If we do, communicate clearly, tell them you love them, smile, be with them, be aware that their needs and wants are the same as your needs and wants. We all want to be loved, for God's sake. We all need the understanding of each other. And sometimes, I mean, I was talking with people a couple of days ago, no English, but I was talking in smiles and hugs and, gestures. All of them are ways in which we can communicate better. So get the language of betterarchy, read it, understand it. We've for too long we've been using language poorly to communicate, but we've even got to the stage now where we're not listening to what's coming back. Gosh, people complaining about, oh, he's the dictator. You're the dictator. We need to grow more love. Be calm. Be loving. Be kind. Do what's best to help mankind. All right. That's it. Lots of love. Pontification over. My morning report. Today is Wednesday, March 12th. It's now nearly 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've got to get on with my day. And sending out love to everyone.